And welcome to the NJCAA regular season here for some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate action. Very excited to be here and ready to get the show on the road. My name is Orbital. With me is Chacky. Chacky, how you doing? And are you excited for today's best of five?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm very excited for today's best of five. We got some really interesting competition coming up, so we'll see how things go.
Of course. Again, it will be in the collegiate scene as per usual, and it's gonna be a little bit fun as we stretch into week four. It's starting to take its toll, right? Of a season of, I want to say we're about halfway through. I think it's about I want to say a 7 or 8 week season. Week four is always tend to bring with it a slightly difficult scenario for some players and some teams as well. It's that middle ground. It's a spot where you want to kind of rest there. At the same time, if your record isn't looking too good, this is the time to start trying to kick it up another notch.
Yeah, this is the time to start kind of separating the wheat from the chaff, if you know what I mean. Like this is the point in time where you would find out who's really got it and who's really
Mm-hmm.
your contender to take the whole thing, rather than like people who maybe don't have it, maybe sitting kind of towards the bottom of the table. This is the point in time where you need to start making that comeback and really picking up momentum.
It is, and of course that does mean that the players are vamping up and ready to go. Of course, I believe they are itching and jumping the gun a little bit, so we're trying to hop into the match as soon as possible for you. Of course, it will be ready for you shortly. Until then, I gotta ask you though, in the current SSBU, I mean, it hasn't changed too much, of course, in the scope of the current season, but for your eyes, Jackie, is there any sort of character that you really enjoy watching here and really enjoy certain play styles to come out here, especially in a collegiate setting?
I'm not sure about a collegiate setting, but I have seen a lot of really interesting characters and playstyles kind of pop up
Ooh.
through what I've seen through Smash. You're seeing a lot of like high to mid tier characters do really well now. The
Mm-hmm.
likes of like Cloud or even like Byleth, characters who
Ooh.
are kind of good, but not that good because this game has such good balance and so many characters that it's better to just play a character that you're really familiar with and that clicks with you than it is to
Mm-hmm.
like pick a top tier the way it used to be with Smash games. Because typically they're not the best balance, but Ultimate is definitely the exception to that.
Of course. I mean, I remember the days of I think it was, oh dear, what was it? It was nope, my brain is escaping me, but we'll come back to that later. My question, of course, is coming out. Byleth and Cloud, of course, doubling up on that factor though, talking about that high to mid range tier characters and how they kind of excelled. Is that the scope of it though, as those are two relatively closer range characters, a lot more melee heavy style of combat here. Is that a swinging trend in the SSBU scene though? Is that really well known, or are any of the range tier characters still going to be up there in the current power rankings of character dynamics?
Well, some of the characters that are becoming more popular are like more Zona types. Samus, of
Mm,
course, has had some success recently. Min Min did get nerfed recently, but is still definitely a very capable character. So you will see a lot of characters who do have a bit more range who are performing decently well. And obviously, you've got Cloud and Byleth who are kind of sit at that mid range.
mm.
They've got like decently sized swords and do quite well. And there are also some characters who are honestly kind of stubby, but also still do pretty well. Luigi's had some success recently. Mario, of course, has had some success throughout the game's lifespan. So uh, range isn't really an issue. Like it can be in specific matchups, but
Mhm.
in terms of overall in the meta, it's not like a huge limiting factor for any character, provided that you're capable enough once you get in.
That is so true. Once you specialize in a certain character, you want to keep that pool maybe to a 2 to 3 character range, or even the specialist at this point, right? It's always about, do you specialize in one character, and if you do specialize in one character, you can take on just about anyone. For you, Jackie, is there a character that you prefer to play? Is there someone that you personally enjoy playing the most? Because I mean, as we do sit here and wait, it's kind of fun to get to know some of the casters and especially what they like to play, right?
I've been a Wii Fit main for a while now.
Oh, I love it.
So Okay.
That is... Wii Fit Trainer is one up there. Okay, okay.
It's, yeah, very odd character, not linear either, so you can play Wii Fit in a lot of different ways. You've got, top players who approach the character very differently. Varun is very aggressive. Numbers plays it like Smash 4, kind of sits at ledge a little bit. So a very interesting character, very odd one.
To be
But
fair,
I have a lot of fun with her.
I like it. I like it. To be fair, I do play. I am a personal player of the. This is gonna catch me some flack. I play Little Mac fairly often, so that's its own level of what the heck are you doing there? We have gotten some information though tonight. We do have two players. It is going to be Ben and Jose. So these two players are currently prepped and waiting. They had played a singular game beforehand though, and that had Ben coming out in the lead. So as we get into the second game, I do believe we will see the score lines kind of match up there and kind of get a good idea. Unfortunately, we do not have the characters for you just yet, but hopefully we will have that on screen in just a few to kind of bring you through this action. And so far, of course, the players, as you can tell, we're already amped up and ready to go. They hopped right into the match. We're like, hey, let's go as quickly as possible. Now you can go ahead and take a look here. It will be ICT Jose versus USU Ben. And I think they are already kicking it off into, I believe it is the second round as well. So we're a little bit behind, unfortunately. Like I said, the players really wanted to kick things off as quick as possible.
Yeah, they're very eager. You can definitely tell.
And it's good. It's good. Hopefully we get a bit of information from these two squads and really keep it in, because the collegiate scene is, of course, a little bit different than one would say is in the international scene. And I know for you, Jack, you have absolutely been around the block, especially with the national and international. You're actually in the EU, I do believe, as we did see. It was, I believe that was Link versus the Genji. So that was very fun. No, my brain's not working right there.
Yeah, Greninja. I mean, they sound similar enough.
Don't tell me that. I just got slaughtered in the comments of about 15 different Twitch channels, so yeah. But talk to us there, because we just saw the matchup there, and of course, those are relatively the quick personality types. The Greninja, of course, flying pretty true there, and has been kind of a staple in SSBU for a while.
Yeah, Greninja's been kind of up and down. Link's also been like a pretty big staple. There's a really good Link in Japan called T. It's just like T, not T as in the Pac-Man. Yeah, who's very good at abusing Link's strengths, mainly that Nair, those zoning tools, that bomb. There's a lot of creativity that you have with Link and his various setups. Greninja, on the other hand, very aggressive character, can use Shuriken to camp a little bit and kind of counteract some of Link's zoning tools, but will mostly look to kind of get in with punish using that dash attack and then stick to a more like grounded playstyle. You've got a very good full hop. The main problem in this matchup is that Greninja's out of shield options are kind of bad. So when Link gets on Greninja's shield, it's going to be kind of rough for Jose.
Of course, we are going right back into it, and I think we have a little bit of a good swap of the Link swapped out for that Cloud. As you were talking about before, Jackie, bringing in one of those high-tier characters into the Greninja play. And of course, that will be Ben. At a 2-0 so far. We are going to that Pokemon Stadium. Going to have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, going Kalos, nice wide and kind of flat stage, which can help out Greninja, depends on what combo routes you prefer. And it definitely gives Cloud a bit more space to really make the most of his Buster Sword. We saw that with like the huge forward air immediately.
It is fairly well matched. Then just going ahead, opening up with a few neutrals. Official game, it's all about trying to tag out the damage so far. But they've been having a little bit of a struggle, not really landing as many as you would like. However, the ones that you have neutral damage. He's currently watching as it's 95% and climbing on Jose's HP.
Yeah, Jose's sitting now at 97. The finishing touch, Raw, is going to take it. Nice call out. They did buff it. They made it about a frame faster in the final patch of the game's lifespan, which actually means you can combo into it out of up tilt and a jab lock now. So it'll be interesting to see if we do see that. It is kind of rare, but as of right now, we're just seeing Ben use those climb hazards, trying to get Jose off them a little bit, really threatening that airspace because Greninja's full hop is so high. You really need to make sure you've got control of the air, otherwise you're just going to get whiff punished over and over again. But right now, Ben has set up the wall and Jose cannot get in.
It feels like there's not a chance. I think it's actually almost a 0 to death. Right now, 68.6 has been Ben's percentage for quite some time here. At 122, definitely worried about that shield. Jose is going to get a punt to the back of the head. It is going to be Ben taking a clean stock lead. Jose is on the territory, rolling a little bit in the rough end. Round 2 games as well as 2 stocks. Last stock to turn it around.
Yeah, this is potentially the stock of the set here. Jose really unable to find any kind of opening. And you could see why Ben was so eager to start this set off, because he wants to finish it quickly. Another huge call out on the jump. Hard read with the up smash. We saw Spargo do a little bit of that at Summit. And Ben straight up calling it out, finishing Jose off pretty quickly, establishing himself to be the better player in the situation. And damn, that was quick. It was some really strong advantage state, but most of the time he was just winning neutral a lot. He was really using the length of that Buster Sword, and it was really hard for Jose to get in at all. Very difficult, and he couldn't make it. And yeah, it looks like Ben will take the set.
It's just that easy, right? It's just that easy
simple.
Here with the NJCAAE. But it's not that easy. We have to say that. If that game is any indication, Ben has a lot to work with. And again, even though you're working with maybe some of the slower swordsmen, the control that was had by Ben throughout the entirety of that one game, imagine that tripled over the course. To take a 3-0, and especially in that format, is not an easy thing to do. So I can only imagine how Ben was able to play it throughout, right? We saw some of the character swaps. I'm very interested to see if it's only the Link in the Cloud that they can do it on. Maybe they do it with a few more.
Yeah, maybe the Cloud is just the secondary and the Link is the main, and you just went Cloud because why not, right?
Yeah.
If you'll see a lot of good players kind of do that when they're ahead, try and experiment, work on different characters, see what works, what doesn't, and then that way when they're faced with difficult matchups, they know who to go to, and what to switch to, and what works and what doesn't. And this worked out really, really well for Ben very, very quickly. You could tell why he was so eager. He wanted to get that set over with, not afraid to approach at all. And again, kind of setting up that wall, and Jose just unable to find a way in at all. Didn't really make use of his movement and just kind of ended up running straight into that Buster Sword over and over again. There was some very good use of limit in there as well. Using that finishing touch there. We saw a little bit of the side B too. It was rarely ever wasted. And the idea with limit, hopefully, is to kind of hit Cloud, either run away for 15 seconds, which can work, or you hit Cloud and you force Cloud to use that limit up B, and in doing so, use limit and give yourself a chance to kind of play the game a little bit normally.
It's such a difficult thing to call for, and as you said, I mean, there's only really 2 options, and of those 2, one of them is significantly more difficult. So, unfortunately, that is going to be the set. We were only able to catch 1 game of it, but it was enough to give us a taste of what Ben had in that pocket. Of course, we will go, I believe, to a very, very short break to be able to get to talk to Ben here shortly in a post-game interview to get their thoughts and see if we were right about what potentially transpired in the earlier 2 games. Please don't go anywhere. The NJCAAE will be right back. And welcome back, everyone. Of course, as you can see, we do not have a third screen here. That is because, unfortunately, we were not able to get out and reach out to Ben for that win. But, of course, it was a 3-0 victory for their side, and that will conclude the NJCAAE broadcast here for the match of the week. We will have more action next week as well, or you can catch us over on Esports U as well. More collegiate action throughout the entirety of the schools, so make sure to tune in all over the place. It's going to be a great time. But that'll be it here. My name is Orbital. With me has been Shaki. Hopefully you did enjoy that game that we were able to cover, and we'll see you all next time.
See ya.